Hey, so I know it's been a while. Sorry about that. Last time I talked to you guys was in February or so a lot of time has passed. A lot of time for me to watch anime, right? Well, guess what? I didn't watch very much anime this year, me or Sam, and that's why this is a top 5 rather than a top 10 like I did last year. By the way, this list doesn't include sequel seasons or continuations. So, no Attack on Titan, no Beastars, no Jujutsu Kaisen. This year, I found that I really didn't have the time or energy to run a YouTube channel, much less two, with me going back to school and all. And so, I basically gave up on it. And with that, I lost a lot of motivation to watch anime. Most of what I've been watching this year has been seasonal anime, which is a lot easier to consume than binging for me. But even though I haven't watched a lot of anime this year, I think that I've really refined my taste and figured out what I most likely will and won't watch. And that started in the winter season with my now favorite rom-com, Horimiya. Horimiya is easily the best romantic comedy I've ever seen. It was Toradora, and even after I finished Horimiya, I still thought my favorite rom-com was Toradora. But as time went on more, I realized Horimiya's positives and Toradora's negatives. For instance, after 2021, I don't think I'd be what you'd call a degenerate anymore, at least when it comes to anime. I'm not a fan of ecchi fan service anymore, unless the anime that I'm watching isn't ecchi in the first place. Horimiya doesn't do that at all. It gives subtle hints for how far Hori and Miyamoru's sexual relationship has gone, rather than shoving it in your face. Other rom-coms like Toradora fail in that area for me, because in my opinion it fails to show you the relationship between Ryuji and Aisaka, rather than let you feel it from the writing and voice acting. But in Horimiya, you can feel how their words bounce off of each other in a way that a real couple who have real chemistry would. They have relatable issues rather than having issues that happen to hardly anyone. It's just a good, believable show, which is why I have it on this list and above Toradora. The next thing on my list would be Steins Gate. Honestly, I can't say much about Steins Gate that hasn't been said already. It's a very smart and meticulously crafted show with an extremely well-built world and extremely well-crafted character development. It has incredible twists that actually make sense too. I had a great time watching this show, and I'd probably have an even better time if I watched it now, because I've come to really like character arcs and character development, which is what the first 10 or so episodes mainly consists of. Sadly, I haven't watched the second season or the movie, but the only reason is because I'm scared it won't live up to the first season. The next anime on my list is Mushoku Tensei. This one will be kind of short, since I've already made a video talking about my thoughts on Mushoku Tensei, and most of those thoughts still hold true to this day. Mushoku Tensei is an absolute blast, and the second season just made it better. The only thing that weighs it down is, well, the fan service, and Rudy's thoughts on the fan service. But honestly, I can deal with it for this anime, because thankfully the second season went way back with that kind of stuff, and I think it's made for a better experience, and leaves room for a world building and character development and plot lines to be introduced. I've said before that I'm not a fan of isekai, and that statement is still true. The only isekai that I've really enjoyed to any degree are No Game No Life and Mushoku Tensei, because they don't feel like normal isekai. No Game No Life has a really unique mechanic to its politics and battles and forces the characters to really think. Mushoku Tensei has an actual world and real characters, with real character traits that feel believable. And the things that Rudy does affects him, and he gains strength throughout the show and a natural feeling progression, which is hard to find today, not just in isekai, but from any medium. The next one I have on my list is Hunter x Hunter. What I said about isekai holds true for battle shonen to a certain extent. a lot of the worlds feel the same, and a lot of the characters have traits and abilities blown out of proportion with no real development. But Hunter x Hunter completely flips those shonen stereotypes on its head. Gon and Kurapika have two of the best character arcs I have ever seen, not just in anime, but in really anything. It has one of the most well thought out power systems in any I've seen either. And even the first two arcs fare pretty decently, even though they didn't introduce the main power system in the first two arcs. Sadly, I only got to see the second half after they added it to Netflix this summer, and it's a shame I hadn't watched this anime sooner, because I probably would have loved it even more. But I'm glad they were able to bring the entirety of Hunter x Hunter to Netflix, because now many more people will be able to experience the Chimera Ant arc. God, it's so good. The next one I have on this list is the Monogatari series. Okay, so I know that the anime is weird, and I'm probably weird for liking it. It does a lot of things that I normally don't enjoy, but somehow made it really engaging. Like, the intense amount of dialogue and monologues in the show would normally turn me off in an instant, but the wittiness of the writing and chemistry between the characters keep me engaged, and kept me binging it for hours at a time. Araragi is probably the most interesting character in the most interesting world that I've ever seen in anime. The apparitions in the story are deep, but never feel too hard to understand, and it probably has some of the best tie-in films I've ever seen and had the pleasure of watching. Honestly, the only thing that would keep most people from watching is the fact that there isn't a dub, and normally that doesn't matter to me, and I'd say suck it up and read, or don't watch it. As I generally watch in sub anyways. But the dialogue is so fast that I can't understand, or that I can understand why it'd be a turnoff. I've had to pause it multiple times because they were speaking so fast. A pretty good solution to that would be the novels, which I have the first 2 seasons of and am actually reading, unlike something else. But they obviously don't have the animation of the fight scenes, or the energy of the voice actors, or the incredible soundtrack, which, may I add, in my opinion, is the best in any anime. So that's my list. This part isn't scripted, so I'm just gonna say what's on my head. I want to thank you guys for watching. This is probably going to be the last video you see from me in a while. Probably ever, but maybe someday I'll come back. I don't know about Sam. He's only watched like 2 or 3 anime this year, so if he decides to make a comeback, he's free to. And I might come back if he comes back. I mean, JoJo just came out, so if he watches that, he might get back into it. But other than that, I just don't see really any reason to keep this going. It's really a drag, and not something that I really need on my shoulders right now. But I have started posting on my other channel again, Kia8245. Over there, I post videos of me playing on guitar. Soon, I'll start expanding out to other instruments. But yeah, if you want to go and subscribe to that, I'll just on Christmas Eve, I posted the Christmas song, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. And I have a lot of more songs coming that I already have finished, just need to record. So yeah, if you're interested in that, go and check it out. But yeah, that's about it. I would say see you, but I'm probably not going to see you again. So farewell, guys.